I'm Darshana Batra, the Assistant Editor of Thermal Control magazine, and I'd like to welcome you to our interactive session on sustainable HVAC, myths versus reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome Mr. Ashish Rakheja. Mr. Ashish Rakheja is partner at AEON Consultants and has a postgraduate degree in thermal engineering from IIT Delhi with over 28 years of work experience. He is a seasoned consulting engineer who has designed over 3,000 projects, including hotels, airports, hospitals, retail, residential, commercial, high-rises, and industrial projects. Mr. Ashish specializes in high-performance buildings and has been actively involved in leading design activity. Today, we are honored to have Mr. Rakheja as a guest speaker, and he is going to talk on Forget Cooling. Let's talk about thermal comfort.
About sustainable solution, the first thing that comes to our mind is the air conditioning system. The very fact that comes to our mind is because that is it is the largest consumption of the electricity is right here. 60% of the electricity bill goes towards cooling. And that is why the topic that I put there is that if you are serious about decarbonizing the world, if you are serious about going to a sustainable future, we need to redefine what we know, what we think about cooling. India is a country where it's primarily, most of our climate is hot, warm, humid, and that's why it requires cooling. But on the other side, our climate offers a lot of other opportunities in terms of the thermal comfort. And that's why I put this topic here, and I'll talk about it as I go further. So let's talk about the green building movement that India has had. We have had good 2 decades of green building movement, starting in 2001 with a very small building. And today we have nearly 13 billion square feet of green footprint, which is either in construction or is already in place. Looking at this large volume, what makes us proud is that we are the second largest footprint on earth. And we might think that, look, we have arrived because we have constructed rightly. But if you look at the reality, the things are different. The last 2 decades of the green movement has brought to us great training to our design fraternity, to our construction fraternity, to everyone. We have codes like ECBC, ASHRAE standard, which we talk about it. We were so familiar with it. We have great rating systems that are available to us. As such, we are very concerned on what the equipment efficiencies are, what is the energy efficiency. We understand these words very well. Today, our manufacturing is world-class. The products are world-class. We are able to export them. If you look at the cooling technologies also, currently our cooling technologies that we are using is something like we are ranging from VRFs to central plants, and we talk of the best of the class equipment ranging from magnetic bearing chillers, high COP chillers. We have so much of this available to us. When we go to the low side cooling, we speak about radiant cooling. There are many projects which are being done. There have been radiant panels which are being put there. We are putting VAV systems now. Use of the VFD is something like a normal in every building that we do. We talk about underfloor air distribution and everything. So the technologies that we talk about in terms of low energy consumption, they're all here. But the question is this adequate? My point is this is not enough. If you look at the climate change, despite having the best of the technologies, the climate change is very much around. I'm sitting here in Delhi. Deluge, in fact, last 4 days has been nothing but rains and unprecedented rains. And if you go across the country, entire North India is reeling under huge monsoon, as we say, which is currently here. The entire North India is driving the monsoon average of the country. The carbon emissions are high. India remains the 3rd largest carbon emitter, CO2 emitter. And going forward, there is going to be no respite because the construction that is coming to us. Our Honorable Prime Minister spoke about Amrit Kal. He said that next 3 decades is all about India. Yes, it's all about India. We would be constructing. We have the biggest population base, which gives us the largest resource of the people. We are constructing, we are urbanizing. The population that we have is looking forward to a better lifestyle. And as a result, our construction is going close to, somewhere I was reading, it said that we are constructing at the rate of 1 Chicago a year. If that's the pace at which we are constructing, and we already stand at the 3rd largest carbon emitter, CO emitter, where are we going to drive it? This is a newspaper article which I saw start of this year, which said that the global warming that it is coming, it is going to require in India air conditioner to be sold every 15 seconds by 2037. If this is the point of the state of affairs, and with the huge amount of urbanization taking place, I think we have a serious challenge on our hand. Our Honorable Prime Minister also at the COP26 spoke about 2070 India being carbon neutral. Now, if you go carbon neutral, there are concepts of embodied carbon, operational carbon, and I think something that we are all very familiar with. You've heard a lot about it in the last 1 year. How do you do that? With huge construction comes the large embodied carbon footprint. And with the huge construction and the way we are going, it also comes a large operational carbon. With the huge embodied carbon and the operational carbon base, where is the sustainable future? That's what we need to be careful about. If you look at what our customers, our end customer, which is the developer or the building, is asking, there are regulatory pressures coming on top of them. Government is clamping down in terms of bringing in guidelines. One of them that came out was making the ESG reporting compulsorily for top 1,000 companies. And that is only going to become stronger and stronger and stronger going forward. We hear about carbon tax, we talk about GHG accounting, and all of this was to become real. There are pressures which our customers are facing. What it means as an industry we'll have to be sustainable. Net zeros are here for us. In fact, at the IGBC, we were talking about it where we looked at the numbers. The net zero energy buildings that are coming up in last 2 years are just gone through the roof because everybody is now pursuing a sustainable operation to be looked at. This is where the role of the air conditioning industry comes to the picture, because we need to go away from a thinking of traditional cooling. We've always spoke about cooling. It is not cooling, my friends. It should be thermal comfort. Human body is a beautiful machine which the God has given to us. It's a machine which can go from minus 10, 20 degrees centigrade to plus 40, 45 degrees centigrade. It can withstand those temperatures. So why don't we push our body for a thermal comfort? Let's do something. Let's design a building which gives us thermal comfort and not cooling or heating. That's what we talk about. This is where the real change is what will come in. Let's understand what is a thermal comfort. Thermal comfort is a state of mind where we feel satisfied with what is coming to us. If you look at the thermal comfort fundamentals, it's about having a right temperature, relative humidity, air velocity, metabolic rate, clothing, and the mean radiant temperature. This is the scientific way of looking. How we look at it when we say cooling, we want a 22 degrees centigrade. No, it is not temperature alone. There are 6 factors which are divided, which are looking at the thermal comfort. So if you go, let us say, a temperature to 27 degrees centigrade and increase the air velocity, you can get the same feel as a 22 degrees centigrade. That's what the thermal comfort is all about. If we start looking at from there are many standards which are available. ASHRAE standard is one of them, and changes the concept completely. Today, we talk about making the buildings closed. We don't let the nature come in. Most of the cities in India, in fact, most of India, more than 6 months in a year, it's a beautiful climate outside. We block our buildings, we block the buildings, and then we say that we want cooling, not the thermal comfort. And that's where the gap is. If we open up our building, let the nature come in, we don't need to run mechanical cooling systems for nearly 6 months in a year. You may say that's theoretical, and I'm going to show you something after this which is actually done. Concepts like HVAC fans can be beautifully used. You can have an air side economizer. I won't get into the details of it. Evaporative cooling. And if you look at it in the last decade, these systems are making a comeback in a big way. Last, I'm going to show you my own office where I'm sitting there, where we experimented with this. This is our office where I'm right now operating from. It's about 40,000 square feet of space. Our main focus here was on thermal comfort, not cooling. So what we here did was, first of all, we started with right planning of the building. When a government allocates a plot to you, you don't have much you can do. The direction what you get, but the planning is what is most important. Blocking the sun right at the source itself. So the west is blocked. Maximize the natural light. Artificial light is only used when it is required to be done. Right facade design, where we are looking at maximizing daylighting again. So you can see the various options which were done in the building design. And finally, the design which gave us nearly 100% daylighting is the one that we selected, pushing our design barriers. The kind of daylighting we're getting in it should not be offensive because we are a hot country. The sun can be really strong. And look at the final design on the right, where we have a 98% daylit plate. And reason why we are 98%, not 100%, is that two of our bathrooms do not have the daylighting, and that gave us a 98% daylighting. Right kind of glass, the materials are plenty available. Select the right kind of glass, use what we call a digital twinning, put the lighting fixtures where they are supposed to go, don't put extra. The technology helps you through digital twinning and just selecting the right fixtures, guiding them or putting them in a place that we are getting only our workplaces as lit, not extra additional light just for beauty purposes. No, the beauty can be integrated into the right design. And this is the result you get, 100% daylit plate with, you can see the kind of occupancy that we have. And you may notice the fans which are there right on the top. The building opens up in case of the fair weather. Our temperature set points where I'm sitting right now is 27 degrees. And this is how we have across the office, 27 degrees. And this is what you see, the building automation screen telling you about the temperatures that we maintain. All along, the temperatures are ranging from 27 to 28 degrees centigrade and no complaint. We have these fans which ensure we get a better comfort or a feel-like cooling. The fans we use, like these are some of the BLDC fans, the air cleaning devices, and completely monitored through an IoT-based automation system, has helped us to bring down our carbon footprint significantly. In fact, we did our Scope 1, Scope 2, Scope 3 emissions benchmarking. And today, we can proudly claim that we are one of the small companies, the MSMEs who have gone and attempted this. We are registered with SBTi, Science-Based Target Initiative. We have accepted the challenge of limiting our CO2 emissions to ensure 1.5 degree rise for the temperature in the earth is not crossed. Our CO2 emissions are being monitored all the time. We are keeping a track on it on a yearly basis and making sure that we go down on them. And one of the major contributors remain that our operational energy is extremely low, nearly 1/3 of any other building in the vicinity. And that's what helps us to keep our CO2 low. In the last 2 minutes, which I have 15 minutes, so I've got still 2 minutes left. The whole future about the building industry is going to be on performance based. When we talk of net zeros, net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste, nothing comes to you by design. It comes to you by the virtual operation. You may have a fantastic design. If it is poorly operated, you are not given a net zero. So net zero is all about actual operation. And that's where the mindset change that is coming into the construction industry of forget design alone, also focus on installation and operation. If you look at any new rating system around the world, they're all focusing on operation. And because it's directly linked to the carbon emissions too. The IoT systems are here to stay. The monitoring, logging of the data will be there. Data mining is being talked about. Artificial intelligence is coming in. All because the focus is on operational data and bringing down operational energy through using AI going in future. If I look at how the codes and the standards are changing, new ECBC is under revision. I have the opportunity to chair this ECBC. The new ECBC is not going to be energy conservation building code. It's energy conservation and sustainability building code. And in this, we have beyond energy, the energy, water, waste management, sustainable building materials, indoor environmental quality, building commissioning, IoT. All of these new chapters come to the ECBC. Hopefully, in next few months, the new ECBC will be out. You'll be referring to it. And all that I spoke about is going to be the focus going forward on reducing not only the embodied carbon, but also the operation carbon there. And that's where I feel once we forget about cooling, start talking about thermal comfort, push our barriers of comfort, and use this machine that we have, the body that we have, to the advantage, I think we have achieved the true sustainability. Thank you so much. I've kept my 15 minutes, Dashra. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rakheja, for taking up this topic and giving an overview on enhancing thermal comfort.